President-elect John Mahama is returning to lead Ghana after winning a contested election against Vice President Mahamadu Bawumia. In an exclusive interview with VOA's Ndiho, Mahama discusses some of Ghana's most pressing challenges and how he plans to tackle them.
It did come down to the economy. All the opinion polls show that the economy and employment were the most important issues. And so what we did was to drill down our message to issues to do with job creation and the economy, and eventually it did pay off. The economy is going to be the #1 focus because it affects everything else. If the economy is in a bad way, it affects education, it affects agriculture, it affects sports, it affects every sector of the country. So we're going to have to be dealing with stabilizing the economy. Bringing down inflation is #1 priority. Stabilizing the currency is #2. Bringing the deficit down, cutting expenditure, increasing revenues. I mean, those are the things that we need to be looking at.
One of the things that resonated with the young people was the 24-hour economy.
Yes.
Do you care explaining what that means for ordinary Ghanaians?
24-hour economy is not a new thing. It's been implemented in many countries, and so Ghana will not be the first to implement a 24-hour economy. What a 24-hour economy does is that you provide incentives to the private sector to be able to increase their production and increase the number of working hours and increase the number of employees. That is what it is. And so it's purely an incentive-based program where you say, look, if you increase your production, you increase your number of employees, you increase your number of working hours, government will give you these incentives. It could include tax measures. It could include lower costs in terms of utilities and so on and so forth. So there are many other things that we could do. So immediately what we're doing is to set up a committee that will begin to flesh out the policy.
Move on to the next topic, unemployment. Every single young person I talk to, they talk about how there are no jobs. Some of the colleagues that I have here, they talk about how there are no jobs. What are you going to do in at least the first 100 days to reassure these young people that the country can provide jobs, can create jobs for them?
You know, job creation is not an event, it's a process. And so you're not going to be able to, with one stroke of the pen, create the number of jobs that you want. The first thing is restoring the economy back to health and restoring it back onto the path of growth. That in itself will begin to throw up jobs. Businesses are suffering. A lot of businesses have laid off people just because of the crisis we've had in the economy. And so just bringing the economy back and letting businesses grow again, rejigging the construction sector, investing in infrastructure, carpenters, masons, steel benders will begin to get work again. And so that is our #1 priority. Okay.
Mr. President, when it comes to education, a lot of young people thought maybe the election could have even gone the other way because of free education. But at the same time, they are worried that this program where a lot of young people are benefiting, or the parents are afraid that once you get into office, you might scrap that. Is that something that you're going to keep? You're going to keep that promise going?
Let me look into the camera, read my lips. Free SHS has come to stay, and it is not going anywhere. Nobody is going to scrap free SHS. What was said was political talk, and it was just political gimmickry. Free SHS is not going anywhere. We're going to maintain the policy.
Mr. President, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
That was President-elect John Mahama of Ghana speaking with VOA's Ndiho.